Did Disney just do the unthinkable? Whispers are swirling through Hollywood, suggesting the House of Mouse has secretly hit the eject button on Rachel Zegler, their controversial Snow White, and might be lining up her polar opposite, Brett Cooper, as a replacement. If true, it's not just a recast. It's a full-blown cultural earthquake, a sign that the backlash might finally be forcing studios to rethink everything. This story isn't just about a fairy tale anymore. It's about power, politics, and a potential Hollywood reversal that could change the game. The trouble began almost as soon as Rachel Zegler was announced. While some celebrated the casting, a significant portion of fans felt it strayed too far from the classic character. But the real firestorm ignited not just from critics, but from Zegler herself. In a series of interviews, she seemed almost determined to criticize the very project she was starring in, calling the original 1937 animation weird and focusing on the prince's actions as stalker behavior rubbed many the wrong way. It felt less like a modern update and more like disdain for the source material. Add comments minimizing the love story and suggesting Snow White wouldn't be saved by the prince but would instead become a leader. And Disney found itself managing PR crises almost weekly. One critic bluntly stated the sentiment many felt. Actresses are hired to promote the film, not critique it or offer unsolicited opinions on world affairs. Zegler's comments didn't just raise eyebrows, they actively alienated a large segment of the potential audience, turning excitement into frustration. But simmering fan anger was just one part of the storm gathering around Zegler. As the controversies piled up and boycott threats, particularly from conservative circles, grew louder, Disney executives reportedly reached a breaking point. The risk associated with keeping Zegler as the face of such an iconic property seemingly became too high. Whispers emerged of a soft exit strategy, a quiet but firm distancing. There's talk of Zegler being placed on an unofficial no-hire blacklist, a chilling prospect for any actor, let alone one so young. More visibly, fans noticed Zegler started vanishing from promotional materials. Teaser art, behind-the-scenes glimpses, press mentions, her presence reportedly began to shrink, as if Disney was methodically trying to erase her association with the film before it even released. It felt like a shift from our star to Rachel who, practically overnight, a digital ghosting playing out on a multi-million-dollar scale. As Zegler's Disney fairy tale seemed to be dissolving, another Snow White project involving a different rising star was dramatically imploding across town. Brett Cooper, a popular personality known for her time at the conservative media outlet The Daily Wire, was set to star in their own version, titled Snow White and the Evil Queen. Marketed under their Bentkey Kids platform, it was positioned as a direct response to Disney's woke remake, a return to traditional values. Cooper was the face of this project, featured in teaser trailers clearly designed to counter the Zegler buzz. But then, late last year, Cooper abruptly parted ways with The Daily Wire. Suddenly, all promotion for their Snow White ceased. The project, heavily tied to Cooper's image and contract, hit a dead end, leaving fans wondering what exactly happened behind the scenes. Cooper's exit wasn't just a quiet resignation, the online clues pointed towards a much messier personal breakup. Almost immediately after her departure, Cooper unfollowed The Daily Wire and several key figures on social media. Perhaps most tellingly, she deleted a widely circulated wedding photo featuring herself and Reagan Conrad, another Daily Wire personality who subsequently took over Cooper's popular show, The Comment Section. Deleting that specific photo felt like the digital equivalent of burning bridges. Fueling the speculation, Cooper's own mother reportedly liked fan comments online that accused Reagan of being a backstabber. In interviews, when asked directly about her friendship with Reagan, Cooper's answers were painfully awkward. "I don't say so," she responded when asked if they were still friends, adding later that adult friendships are really hard. The subtext screamed betrayal and unresolved tension, suggesting the split was far from amicable. This public awkwardness masked a deeper conflict, a fundamental disagreement about what Snow White should even be. Reports suggest a major point of contention between Cooper and Daily Wire leadership was the creative direction of Snow White and the Evil Queen. The company, known for its provocative culture war content, allegedly wanted to inject the film with anti-woke subplots designed to own the libs. Cooper, however, reportedly pushed back. She envisioned a timeless, neutral fairy tale with broad appeal, something that could potentially, With Cooper now untethered from her Daily Wire Snow White project, and Disney facing a Zegler-sized crisis fueled by controversy and potential boycotts, the stage was set for an almost unbelievable rumor to catch fire. Whispers turned into loud speculation. Could Disney be considering Brett Cooper, the star of the rival, canceled traditional Snow White to replace Rachel Zegler? The idea seems almost designed to cause maximum online whiplash. Why would Disney make such a drastic 180-degree turn? Insiders suggest it's a calculated gamble. Replacing Zegler with Cooper could appease the very conservative and traditionalist audiences alienated by Zegler's comments and the film's initially marketed progressive slant. It would be a clear signal that Disney is listening to the backlash and prioritizing a return to perceived, safer, more traditional territory, potentially staunching the financial bleeding from ongoing culture war battles. It's an explosive, potentially polarizing move, swapping one set of controversies for another, but one Disney might deem a necessary risk. This potential casting flip isn't just about swapping actresses, it could signal a seismic shift in Hollywood's playbook. For years, major studios often doubled down when facing criticism over casting or progressive storylines, frequently dismissing critics as out of touch or bigoted. Disney's apparent reversal on Snow White, scrubbing Zegler, the alleged pivot back towards a classic tone, and the Cooper rumors suggests a possible new strategy: course correction based on audience reception, especially when the bottom line is threatened. If this Snow White pivot proves financially successful, it could embolden Disney and other studios to prioritize broad, traditional appeal over pushing boundaries, particularly with beloved legacy properties. We might be witnessing the pendulum swing back, where fear of alienating the core audience outweighs the desire to court progressive plaudits. The go woke, go broke narrative, often dismissed by studios, might actually be factoring into their decisions now. But while studios calculate risks and potential profits, the individuals caught in this whirlwind face dramatically uncertain futures. For Rachel Zegler, the situation looks increasingly grim. The alleged blacklisting and quiet removal from promotional materials suggest her Disney dream has turned into a potential career nightmare. At just 23, she theoretically has time to recover, but being so publicly distanced by a studio as powerful as Disney after such high-profile controversy could have lasting repercussions. Industry commentators wonder if producers will hesitate to hire an actress perceived as publicly undermining her own projects. Her once bright star seems significantly dimmed, her future in mainstream Hollywood suddenly precarious. On the other hand, for Brett Cooper, landing the Disney Snow White role would be transformative. It would represent the ultimate vindication after her Daily Wire project collapsed, potentially launching her into mainstream acting legitimacy far beyond her previous conservative media platform. It's the kind of career redemption arc rarely seen, yet it's also fraught with risk. She would inevitably face intense scrutiny and backlash from those who supported Zegler or view her casting as a purely political concession by Disney. Ultimately, the Snow White saga has transcended the film itself. The behind-the-scenes drama, the casting controversy, the alleged firing, the rival project's collapse, the rumored replacement, the culture war implications, has become far more compelling than any plot point the movie might offer. Fans are left wondering what version of Snow White, if any, will finally make it to the screen. Will it be a heavily revised, traditional take? Will Cooper actually get the part? Or is this all smoke and mirrors? The only certainty is that this episode has exposed the brutal calculations and power plays that often underpin Hollywood productions. It's a stark reminder that in the Magic Kingdom and beyond, fairy tale endings are never guaranteed, especially when navigating the treacherous currents of modern media and audience opinion. Who really gets a happily ever after in this story remains the biggest question of all.